Hey everybody, welcome back to Workers and Resources. We have a bit of a money problem, as you know. We spent a lot. By we, I mean me. This train is going to save us in the near future, or at least for the short term. It's made about 3 trips like this so far. Each one of these trips it's doing is worth 250,000 rubles. This is very good. And that's because I've added bitumen, or whatever the hell you call it. I've added this to the trade route. Now, we can't do this for very many trips, but I noticed that we were full in this tank. Nope. We were empty in this tank, so I'll show you what I did about that in a second. But I noticed we were pretty much full in this tank. We were up to here, so I just let the train pull as much as it wants. That can't last forever, of course. It only has about a couple more trips doing that before we're out. So, yeah. I wanted to also get fuel, because we're storing almost the maximum amount of fuel. We need to start exporting that again, not just oil. What it would be nice to do, because I really, my main course of income, right, I wanted it to be kind of set it and forget it. And that's kind of how I set this up, is a set it and forget it method, in a way that doesn't take workers, aside from power, which almost ran out of oil here. I noticed it just in the nick of time, and it's because we're pulling so much off of it. So I went ahead and reduced the number of workers for this, just so we're not, drawing as much. Let the tank fill up a little bit, but also I went ahead and I cut supply to this tank. So now this pumping station is basically forcing everything straight forward. And that means it's going to push everything that it's getting into that tank instead. Because when I split the supply and go half and half, it ends up not being enough to sustain this. And it ends up drawing too much, because both of these buildings are exclusively drawing off of this tank. And this was purely for trade. So now I've got priorities set, and I'm making it basically exclusively this pipe for a little while, so we can get it recovered. But so not quite so set it and forget it. I think we can manage it though if I can utilize fuel, bitumen, and oil in the same train at the same time, back and forth. Splitting between the 3 of them, I think, doesn't draw fast enough to deplete the sources. We can recover those sources individually, as long as we're only pulling a third of it instead of doing full train loads of it, right? So we'll set that up over here, and using existing infrastructure, since I only have 2 inputs for this. But before we do that, I have another project. Let's take a look over here. Okay, so as you know, we had like Christmas light thing going on with this high, and yes, I am paused intentionally. It's July. We'll let it run for about a month here. And as you saw the Christmas lights we had going on, right? These poles were flashing. We were overloading it, right? So I went ahead, removed the switches, and just have it be all this, which means I've completely disconnected Kraftkulash from the grid. It's completely cut off. But it has currently 21 wind turbines. I've added more. Yeah, I've been spending a little bit of money. And what I'd like to do is hook these wind turbines up together so that they can provide clean energy, 100% clean energy to Kraftkulash here. I want this little, it's our university, right? It's our new age, it's our new technologies, our research centers, right? These guys are advanced. They're going to be completely 100% self-sufficient with energy, using clean energy sources, and that's wind. Now, there's some risks to this, of course. If the wind dies down, that means we have a lot less power. So we want to make sure we have an overwhelming abundance of energy here so that we always have enough even when the wind dies down. Right now, it's 10 meters per second, at least when I paused it. But it can go down as low as 2, even 1, and then we have almost no power over here, and that's going to suck until we can expand this to do like overwhelming stability, right? We also are going to want to expand this as we generate up this way. And eventually we can hook this up to this other source, and we can hook it up to solar, for example, which has got progress done. It's getting there, man. I ran out of steel though, so yeah, it sucks, whatever. And I have probably very little electrical components left too, but it's what it is. Okay, so here's what I want to do. First, I'm going to delete these so that I can see the messages as they come in. Most of those messages are ambulance couldn't get here and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, well, that's why I added helicopters, okay? So just get there, please. So here's what I want to do. We have 3 substations currently right now. There's one right here. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the overlay. Obviously, white means it's off. Doesn't have power. So we have a substation here, which, if it's sharing with another one, is 75%. We're going to hopefully have most of this stuff being shared by a variety of different substations. At least that's the hope anyway. There's also another substation located here, which again, if it's sharing load, it becomes a little easier. But right now we need 5, 5, 6 in this area, 5, 5, 9 in this area. So effectively, we're going to need 2, possibly 3 substations, which is why we also have a third one over here, which only needs 337 in its area, but it's also going to help with some of the load over here. We're going to get a 4th one put in, first and foremost. And I think I want that to be like right up in here. The radio station, I think, takes a bit of power, though, so maybe it's better to put it right in here. This actually fits kind of nicely, doesn't it? And it covers almost everything. Pretty cool. Let's put it right here. See how we get along with that. And yes, we're going to build this with rubles. Right there. Okay. So the goal with this little task that we're going to be up against is to connect these up and have them serve all of those substations. All right. Now, each one of these, a little pro tip if you didn't know, each one of these wind turbines is kind of a substation in and of itself. In other words, if it's close enough to a building, it will provide power to that building, which is why some of these buildings have green on them. It's because they're close enough to these wind turbines to where they're directly connected to them, okay? That doesn't matter once we hook them up to each other and feed those substations, okay? That's what I'm going to hope to do. So it's a little bit of an undertaking. I've only experimented with the idea, so I don't know if it'll work, but I'm willing to take the investment and the chance to try and make it work. So here we go. First, I need to make sure all the lines are disconnected. So I want to see these little triangles in every single one of these, and it looks like they're pretty good. There should be 21 of them, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is actually a lot easier to count if you step out and do the overlay. Okay, actually, there's 22. Glad I counted. So 22 wind turbines. This means we can use 4 power transformers, and we'll still have 2 slots left over for expansion. So if we want to add a couple more down here or something, we can add on to that if we'd like to. There's also this transformer here, which if we need, we can send power out of the supplement. However, this line, as you can see, is already yellow when I paused it. It's already stressed out. And, we don't want to stress it out any more than it already is. So probably not. This power plant is really booking it, man. Maybe we can disconnect this, and then if we redirect this main line out that way, we could maybe take a little bit of pressure off of that substation there. This power transformer that's right here. This is providing power. This one substation right here is providing power all the way down for these buildings and all the way over to here, right? So all of this stuff is powered by that substation. And if I need to, I can redirect. But it looks like even the export to the grid that way is stressed out too. So we're at the peak of what we can really support with one power station, basically. And that's with that stuff not even running. And the steel is very expensive. So we're going to need another power plant soon, basically, is what I'm saying. It's going to be most likely to be coal unless I feel adventurous and really think I can handle nuclear. I'm going to need to see major profits before I can do that, though. Okay, so let's figure out where we're going to position our power transformers. Now, this is going to be backwards to what we're used to. What we're used to is taking high voltage energy, right? High voltage power and transforming it / converting it into low voltage and then distributing it to substations. What we're doing this time is we're going to take it from the medium voltage sources, combine it and transmit it in high voltage, and then reconvert it to medium to distribute to the substation. So there's a little bit of an extra step for this. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 of them right here close together. This seems like a good place to try this out. So let's go like maybe here with it. And looking at this, it's probably a good idea to get my roads set in place because these things need to be connected to roads. So I could go off of this side with a road. And I can maybe come down. Let's go like this and then over like so. If it'll let me. Good enough. Okay, and then I can just take all of these and hook them up to hopefully the same little road network. Hoping. I don't need it to be perfect or to even look good. I just need it to be connected. So I'm gonna bring this down and bring you in. Looks like you're too close. Oh, nope, you'll work. Good. Then you're gonna be here, you're gonna be here, you're gonna be here, etc., right? We're just gonna hook these up. Doesn't need to be perfect, just as long as the vehicles can get to them, because fires, you know? Fires can happen, and if it does, that's 33,000 rubles, right? Each one of these is 33 grand, so they're pretty expensive. For some of these over in this area, these new ones, I built a portion of them with resources. So it was a little bit cheaper there, but it like, I'm talking like a really small portion. Like, I delivered a little bit of stuff and then said screw it, but it was a little cheaper than the rest of this stuff, okay? In any case, here we go. Let this build, and what we want to do is we're going to take medium voltage lines, and I think I'm just going to go 235. I don't think it's necessary, because I don't think we're ever going to get that high, but we might get higher than 1.5, so I think it's probably worth it. So we'll take this, let's start from this side, we'll go there, there, there. This is a lot cleaner than it was before. Oh, a lot cleaner than it was before. Go there, we're gonna bring you around to there and bring you straight over like that. I probably don't even need to do this. I think I can probably manage this straight on. Is that too extreme of an angle? Yeah, it is a little bit extreme. So we'll go like that and then like this. All right, so these are all now connected to the same substation. They're going to provide power to this substation, okay? So the next thing we want to do is get another one, and then we're going to set up a switch and transfer it to another transformer, which will then directly feed 2 substations, okay? Possibly 3, but most likely just the 2 for now. I think probably these lines need to be pulled back, because I'm thinking the transformer I'm going to use is going to be right here. Probably. In fact, I think I can get a high voltage line around the coast, right around these. So let's plan on that being a thing. We'll go about here, and we'll hook this up to. Really, it just needs to be a mud road is fine. Doesn't have to be too fancy. All right, so that's gonna build. So the next is to get the other power transformer that we're gonna use for. And yes, we're still paused because this whole place has no power. I don't want them to like freak out and be like, oh my god, I'm leaving. I don't want them to do that. So let's get power transformer, and I think I place it here. This is an okay spot. It makes it challenging to access it from here. In hindsight, this probably should have been located here, because then it would have made, like, if I done it here, it would have been easier to bring the high voltage line that way. Now I have to like, I don't even know. Well, the good news is we don't need the big honking lines like this. We can step it down, because there's no way these are ever going to generate more, like enough to do 18 megawatts. We have 235 on each one of these times 6. That's like barely over 14 if my instant math is correct. So there's really no reason to use anything higher than a 14 voltage wire on this. So we can go a little cheaper on moving this around. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to go this way with it and then through here the middle. Hey, there's room in the middle there too. There's also room for another wind turbine. Interesting. Now I'm tempted. Don't tempt me, game. Actually, pretty tempted actually by that. I might do it. Thinking about it, the switch could go here. Still thinking about it. It's up in the air. I'm thinking high voltage could be on that side, and then we feed these around. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We put another one here. That'd be 6. Feeds into this one. And then the high voltage switch could go. We need this on this side then, right? Let's plan this out a little bit. We'll go like this. And then this high voltage switch could be here. That kind of works. It does work. It works. It could be here though instead. the high voltage switch. We can put it right here. All right, I can play this. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's fund this and fund this. So what we want to do now is hook up these to this transformer. We're going to add one more of these suckers because I can, and I'm going to. And I want to have them kind of facing the same angle as the other ones. So we're going to tilt it. That seems pretty close. And we're going to place this. We're going to place it relative to wherever these ones don't connect. So let's connect them up first, just to clean it up. Again, 2, 3, 5 on these is good. We'll go here with this one. We want to pay for these with rubles. Let's just mark them for pay. We're going to bring you into here, you into here, you into here. Ooh, too extreme of an angle. Okay, hang on. We'll go like this. Okay, good. We're going to take this one and bring it, I guess, out and then up. Yep. So with that, we can put the other wind turbine. You can put it right here. It's kind of in the way of my high voltage lines, though. I think I'd prefer it to be over here. Let's get it angled correctly. Yeah, right about there. It's close enough. Nobody will notice. I'll notice. Shut up, Steve. Actually, there's a viewer named Steve, so he's going to be taking offense to that. I totally wasn't talking about you, Steve. I swear. It was a different Steve. A much less handsome Steve, okay? Definitely. Completely different Steve, okay? This one has glasses. You don't even wear glasses. I don't think you do. If you do, then, well, sorry, Steve. Let's get this. There. And then we're going to bring you out to there. Okay. So an extra wind turbine is going to build now. Nifty. So now we want to hook up these two lines, or these two substations, to this switch, and then send power from this switch with a big boy line, because we're going to need that, all the way as close to the water as I can get, I think, here. And then, oh, really? You just... Come on now. Don't make me double pay for that. All right, hold on. We're going to do that trick. We're going to do that little... We're going to cheat. Do that little trick. Okay. Mud road. Got it. It's so cheap. It really is not a good. It's not good. I don't feel good about that, but in a way I also feel really good about that. Just make sure I'm not hitting the lines when I delete this though. There we go. Okay, so some low-hanging lines here. But you know what? It's not super low. You can totally drive a car under that still. It's fine. All right, so that's the big boy line. Now, the little line's, I think, 14 megawatts. Again, there's no way that 6 turbines on 235 lines could ever exceed the requirements for 14. We'll never even get to 15. And we're, by doing a 14 line, again, I don't know if my math is correct, but I think it's a little over 14. Effectively, we're only giving up like 0.1 megawatts potential there. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to bring the 14, make sure I selected that right one. Yep. 14 line will go up, I guess, this way, and then over to the switch here, and then this will hook up there. So we've got two 14 lines feeding into an 18, which is, of course, ooh, there's no way, dude. This is 17 megawatts. There's no way. 10, yeah, no, this is just needs time to settle is all it is. Okay. So what we've got now are these, all of these are connected. They're all servicing these different stations. And then we're feeding that at a maximum here of 18. So we have two 14 lines. Obviously, we can only send 18. So we might bog down this line by doing that. And I don't know how to fix that. I really don't. The only thing I can think of is going even lighter on these. But, I mean, if we max this out, then we max it out. I really doubt we will. I mean, if this town uses 18 megawatts from 2 transformers, then something's weird about that. In any case, we want to hook it up to the transformers now. So we're going to take the medium voltage wires, and we'll take 235s, and we're just going to hook it up here. So these are both separate transformer lines. So we'll go from this one to here, and from this one to here. And there we go. So these two transformers will now be fed power from these, I guess it'd be 12 wind turbines, right? Very nice. Now we want to feed the other two because these are going to need help. They're not going to be able to sustain that power. That's still too much power for them to handle. And like, yeah, we're going to be green when the wind is really good. That's awesome. When the wind is really good. But when the wind goes down, we're going to lose power here. So we want to incorporate the other 12 into the same setup, but we're going to need to use separate transformers because if I hook them all up to the same switch, notice there's many ports here, right? And you're like, why not just hook them all up to the same one? It's too much to handle. All of these are going to push way more than the 18, right? And then it's just going to bog down this line again. So I'm going to go for two completely separate power grids into substations that will share responsibility and that will load balance, basically. It's all about load balancing there. So let's take a look really quick. We're going to do the same thing with two more transformers. And we have got, just to verify how many I have here, it's, are you connected? Yeah, okay. So it's all the little rectangles, right? Or triangles. I know my shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we could maybe do... I think I will. I think I'll just do it. Is have a 6th over here. And I think we'll put it all the way up against the road. No, we can just put the transformer against the road. So I'll put this right here. We'll build it. Fine. It's just one more. Fill it up, dude. Filling it up. Okay, so the transformers. We have 6 up the top above the rail line, 6 below the rail line. So it makes sense to just kind of, you know, do it this way. We'll hook this to here. Let's say like this. And then another transformer can be here. We'll have the switch be on the opposite side. I think that's an okay. This mud road is no longer required since it was only used as a bypass so that they could make this whole road asphalt. And now that they've done that, I don't need this road anymore. So goodbye. Bye, mud road. I wish you well. And by that, I mean, get out of here. Okay. So these are the two transformers. We'll have the switch on this side, I guess, of the road. It could be right here. It's a fitting spot, I suppose. It could be a little bit off center though. And I don't want an asphalt road or anything here. So let's just make sure it's mud. Okay. And so we'll let that stuff build. And then we want to do the same thing again, right? While the wind is still up before everybody loses power because they're about to. Actually, a couple of things that don't have it. This is a substation though. So that's going to have it. Also, I got the pool. I got the fountain and the statue built. So that stuff's the thing. This is sucking down power too. Didn't realize it. This isn't even started yet. I mean, it is. Sure, there's resources, but yeah, it's not really started. And before you ask, this completed with resources. This, I paid for the end of it. All right, so we're going to take the wires. We're going to go, again, 2, 3, 5s. I don't see a reason why we need to hamstring ourselves unnecessarily here. And I'm going to figure out where to put this. So I think we'll have you, because they're not exactly easy to get. Like the routing needs to be different here. So we're going to bring you to about here. And then straight down. That works. This one can do the same. We'll bring it down about like this. Over nearby this line or this wire. Over like this. Yep, there it goes. That's connected. Okay, and then for this one, we'll come down across and hook it up right here. And then for this one, it'll do the same thing. We're going to bring it down. It's mostly just kind of... Wait, what? Why are you hooking up there? You should not be hooking up there. Yeah, good. Okay. All the way over. And I know it looks a little bit messy still, but at least it has some sort of organization to it, right? It's not super messy. Their lines are in a row, okay? Last bit here, we're going to take and have this come out. It needs to because of... actually, I can probably... Because that has to come out, we want you to go there and want you to go there. Okay, so all of these are connected to that transformer. Same thing over here. You do a little bit different, right? Because they're on this side of it. So this is going to come down and up. This is going to come down over this way and over. Or actually, no, it's not. We're going to change that. I think it would look better if we actually went across the road with this or went down here near the street. I don't want to interfere with the train tracks though. So I'm going to have to go all the way across the street and then bring it back over. But they're not that expensive, these lines. So, and then this one, we'll do the same thing. We're going to go across the street or not. Hi, can we? Oh, you're already going this way. Don't do that. Go across the street and then over. Yep, and then over. You need to keep going. It works. Good. So that's hooked up. These ones will come from the top side. So these ones that are close, there's not a whole lot of routing I can do with them, I don't think, like to make it look good. So I'm going to route this one down a little bit and then over and then straight across. And then this one's going to go straight across too. Then these two will route themselves around and get into here. So we'll go up, over, loop, swoop, and pull. In front of this line, over this way, and then down. And then you are going to come out, up, meet up with this, come all the way over, and down. All right, all the turbines are connected to the transformers. Very nice. Next, let's take a look at high voltage. Again, no reason to go at higher than 14 here. And we're going to go across the street and up, across the street, and I just hook straight up. Good. Okay, so they're all hooked up to the switch. Then we need one more transformer, and that's going to be located right here. And then this one's going to get the big boy line. And now we feed the individual sources that are the substations. So let's delete this really quick and put you on, let's say, that side. And we have another substation. We have to feed another substation. I don't remember where I'm going to put it. Oh, I put it right here. There it is. Okay, so it's a little bit difficult to feed that line from this side, but I need to. I need to feed it from this source. So what we might do is we'll come across, and then we're going to use the road straight over. If it lets me do it, it looks like it will. Very nice. And then we'll come over like this. Very nice. And then over and across. Oh, don't do that. There we go. Over and across. All right, so we're feeding that substation now too. All right, let's take a look at power. This is all set up and done now. We have 5 meters per second on the wind right now. So this is a good indication of what it might be like on average. And we can see that, well, everything is powered. There's a little bit of glitching here, though. I'm not sure if it's just because it's not being reached. I think maybe it's not being reached. Let's, 9 meters per second wind. Yeah, I don't know if I can handle that. That's not quite as stable as I would have liked. I can't believe that we're only... Wind is very much more powerful than this. Like, this is really weak compared to what wind usually is, turbine-wise. A 35 megawatt wind turbine is that's pretty common. 30 megawatts from a wind turbine is pretty common, but this is 1968, so maybe it's not. The thing is, I mean, this substation supposedly is only receiving that much. Like, really? You're receiving 0.7. How do you receive 0.7 and say the power is out, but then receive 0.36 and you're good? Like, every time there's a jolt where it goes up, you lose power. Why? That's weird. See, it's higher, 0.58, and everything lost power. And then it gets it back, and then it loses it, and then it gets it back, and it loses it. It's weird. It's very strange. Maybe my math wasn't right here, but I could have swore this was enough power output to sustain this town. If we need to feed more substations, that's possible. Maybe we need to feed more substations. I don't think so, though. I'm looking at the load, and it's like 0, 0, 0. Like, what the hell? Everything is very low usage. I mean, just... I don't think voltage is really going to help us much, but, like, we're losing voltage. We're just having big old blackouts, rolling blackouts here. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's low wind. Don't get me wrong. 5 meters per second is low wind still. But, I mean, this is about what we're going to have to deal with all the time. And I don't really want to deal with rolling blackouts. I might need to add more turbines. I don't have the money for that right now, but I might need to add more turbines. This was a good plan. This is the first time I've seen it like in action, but I was trying to figure out exactly how much power I'd need, and I figured this was enough. I have 24 wind turbines now. I factored it in with 22. I thought 22 was enough, but I added 2 extras in it. We do power it, but it's so intermittent. When we get 11 meters per second wind, everything stays really stable. So this tells me I just need a little bit more. And these lines are saturating. Really? How? So 1.189 megawatts is what this transformer has. And you're distributing it between the 3. Let's add... I'm going to try something. We're going to add 2 more substations. Just to see if this helps at all. We're going to have the first one added in over here, I guess. If it'll let me. Will you not let me do that? All right, we'll make you a deal. I will make the sidewalk make sense in exchange for you letting me do that. How's that sound? Okay. Let's go like this. Very good. We'll add that one, and then we'll add another one on this side too. Might as well. Let's add this one maybe right between... We could do it right here. Right next to the university. Not really what I wanted to do here, though. It's like right across the street from this other one, but... I mean, it's... I gotta hit the... I gotta hit where we're using the power most. Right? And, maybe on this side. This is not a bad spot. It's covering a lot of ground. A lot of crossover here. Maybe this will create the stability we need to keep this up. Let's try it. We'll put a substation here. As close as we can. Probably on this side then. Close as I can get it. Right like this. All right. So we're going to add a whole new set of lines. Maybe it has to do with that because those are flashing yellow. So they might be at their peak. We'll spread it out even more. I don't know that that's the problem. It doesn't make sense that that would be the problem, to be honest, but I'm going to bring this up here, and then we cut across down the road and hook it up to things like this. So I can maybe build things here. I probably have to reroute this anyway, but we'll build those lines, and then we'll have this line go over and down here, and then it's going to cut across and hook to there. All right, let's see how that plays out. So we're spreading the power amongst 3 substations now. And it's pretty stable, but this is with 13 meters per second wind. So I kind of need to check this when the wind dies down. I suspect it's just simply not enough power being generated at low wind speeds. That's what I suspect it is, but we'll come back to that. I'd like to get higher exports. I'm still losing rubles. I'd like to export more. So right now we're not exporting a whole lot. We're actually not even getting oil brought into this tank because I'm servicing it completely here. So, and this is with really low. It's because the power plant is pushing as hard as it can, right? That's ultimately why. And gradually gaining oil, so we're still positive, but it's not what I want, ideal. So right here, I want to start exporting some of the fuel and some of the bitumen, but I also want to do it, I want to do all 3 at once. Now, it looks to me like this is a place where fuel... If I look at this, these arrows are pointing away. So it looks to me like this is a place where we would send out, but this is a loading. So, no, never mind. It's a loading, unloading. Yeah, that's what it says. Loading, unloading. It combines the two. Also, is this like a different one? Oh, it's a smaller one. Oh, fancy. Actually, wait, this might be for... Is one of these for vehicle? Ah, okay. So this is for trucks. This is to speed up the loading and unloading for trucks for this. Not a bad idea, actually, to place this here. We could have the all the stations be able to refuel from the tank faster that way. But that's money I don't care to spend right now. What I'd like to do is hook up fuel to this. So to do that, since there's only 2 inputs here, right? Take a look at it. There's only 2 inputs here. The first is being used by bitumen. The second is being used by this oil right now. And I'm going to leave those exactly the way it is. Because this tank is pushing out fuel already all the way over here to this station. And this unit is a splitter. Okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to set up another unloading loading, probably like right here. And then the train can stop by there, fill up with fuel, and go. Okay? So it's going to be able to fill oil. It's going to fill oil and bitumen to like 69% or so here. And then the rest of it is going to be filled with fuel before it takes off. Okay? So that's the game plan. We're going to use our existing infrastructure to do this. So I need a rail loading, unloading for fuel. Let me make sure it's a rail one. Right here. It looks like the same, right? There's 2 ins and 2 outs. So, and we're going to need to give it a little bit of space and also a road connection. So right here makes some sense. I like this. Put it right. I want to leave room for additional expansion on farming. We'll get into that in a second. I've added a couple more fields, and I don't think they can be harvested because they're just, I don't think they're going to be. So we'll see how that goes. I think we'll go about here with this. Now I have to make sure I can push that in with the splitter, but I think I can because it's going underground. So we'll go here with it. And then all we need is, I'm going to pay for this because I want it hooked up now. It'll end up paying for itself, I think, here. We're going to hook this up like this. Let's do it right here. And then we'll hook it back to the line on this side like so. Actually, right there is nice. It kind of matches into the same spot as this one does. And then if they need to cross, they'll cross here. All right, so this is all going to get built with rubles. And then we're going to take our pipeline, our underground pipes, and we're just going to go like this. No additional infrastructure needed. We just pump it into there because it's already built as a splitter. And then we need to change the route on the train. So the train is now going to add a stop, and we're going to add a stop here once it's finished. Hopefully I can do that before this finishes. Come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Good, right here. And so this loading, unloading, what we have going on right here, we want you to wait until you're loaded for fuel. But this line here, we're not going to do wait till loaded. Although maybe we should. What I like you to do is fill up with 69% for oil and bitumen. Then come over here and fill the rest of your tanks with fuel and then unload everything. That's the plan. So let's see how that works with this train. We have multiple cars. Hopefully it does a good job here with that particular route. So the first thing I need to see is I need to fill it with fuel and bitumen here, but only to 69%, at least hopefully. Because we're pulling sources that we're not producing much of anymore. And we're not pulling fuel yet, but it's very close. And then I think I want to... This is growing. It is. I'm going to just up the workers just a little bit here. And I think maybe I will take and say export less power here, just because I don't want that power plant using more oil than it can take. Because it has the source, but it's going to drain it. So I'm going to be a little smarter here and just pull this back to like a 14 megawatt export. And we're still making money with it, but it's just not quite as much energy potentially exported. And I'm hoping that that causes this to say, hey, I don't need as much at the times where it's max load, right? Take a look at our grid over here. Everything is green. Looking good. Giant wind farm. I think it worked out okay. And I think the people are going to appreciate having clean energy over here, at least until the wind drops, which it's doing right now. You know, we might want to see how that works when the wind goes a little bit lower, but sure. All right, the train is leaving, and it has a partial load for oil and bitumen. Okay, good. Hopefully now we can recover that. And then it should start drawing fuel. So it should come off this bridge, head to this line, get this, and then go. And then if it needs to refuel, it's going to go that way instead, but then it can't get the fuel. That's a problem. I probably should have put this on this side then. Well, maybe, you know what? It can refuel on the way back, okay? Just refuel on the way back, okay? Just be smart. Be a smart train. Refuel on the way back, okay? So we're going to pull fuel in, hopefully. It didn't pull in any fuel this time. It didn't do it this time. I'm wondering why. Wait until loaded for fuel. Maybe I did the route too quick. Or maybe I, 3.1 tons of fuel is available? No, it should pump it out. Well, we'll see how that goes. Maybe I selected the route change too late. That's the only thing I could think of. If I go to the schedule, view the line detail, like this is what it should be doing. Yeah. Fuel unloading 2. Yep. We'll see how that works. I might need to pull less here. Maybe 59% and then the rest fuel. We'll see how that plays out. But that train is like the only reason I have any money at all to do any of this. And so far we're good. This is yellow, but it's not overburdened. It's a pretty consistent yellow instead of red. And I'm okay with yellow. You can be yellow all you want. Just stop being red. And this power plant is booking it, man. 10 people working in here. Gaining our internal oil supply. This is going back up, recovering. And this is recovering too. We'll get a couple more workers in here if we can. Now, the amount of workers we have is not that high. As I expand populations here and over here, you know, the rail network will start taking passengers around. The helicopter network is already set up to bring people from this side to this side, except for the part where the helicopter landing pad is way over here. In hindsight, probably not the best place to have built it. It is what it is. We have 92 patients and we're not getting any of them. Why? What is the deal? Why are we not getting any of these patients? Treating any of these patients? The ambulance has a huge reach with the ambulances, right? I mean, look, we got asphalt roads, partially constructed, I guess. They're working on that now, I guess. The rail line's done. Hallelujah. Full disclosure, I paid for this right here. Nope, not this one. This was separated into separate sections, so I paid for it from here to here. Just so I can get around and start making this rail. And now it looks like the train has been making it all the way through here. So it's starting to keep going that way. But I think I have to select the project manually every time. And also, I'm pretty sure we're out of steel. Yeah, we're definitely out of steel. Normally, though, I'm buying steel here, right here. Normally I just buy steel here because it's needed to be here. I think though, if you purchase steel at the border and bring it in, it's cheaper, right? Because then you don't epidemic. Wait, do I have an epidemic? Oh no. If I have an epidemic, I deleted the message about it. It's probably way over here. Hey, look. Basically, nobody lives here. All these houses are just abandoned now, man. Somebody told me I can copy the church, right? Because you have a clone button, so you can clone the area for the church, for example, and then you can just place churches that way. That's the only way to do it. That's a nice tip. I'm not going to do that. I feel like maybe that's a little bit of an oversight. And the reason why I think that is because the game clearly has not given me a way to build my own. There's no way to purchase one, and there's no way to build your own with resources. The game has taken that away from me and told me I need to deal with it another way. I think the clone on the church is an oversight. That's why I'm not going to use it. But also because I really do want to root religion out of my Soviet Republic anyway, right? Well, we gotta do it, man. So we're getting money from that trade route, and we've done electrical. That's what we've done today. Increased our trade route. Hopefully, I do want to see the train work, though. I want to see it actually grab fuel from the source, because there's no reason it shouldn't. But we can help this further. Actually, we're going to do this. Well, no, that doesn't matter. Because you're going to pump... What, are you going to pump all the fuel out of there and put it into another tank? That doesn't sound good. I want to pump it from the exact same source. We're pumping it from this. But I want to see that train actually do it. So we're going to wait for that train to come back. And then over here, I need to expand my agriculture. So I think I need another agro farm over here. And some additional vehicles so that I can get the stuff hooked up with the grain fields and everything. So if I put another agro farm on this side, let's say here. It's not hooked up near a gas station. Gas station's on this side, so I could do it here. But that's where the output is. And that's also where a substation is. So we could just do it here. I'll build this with resources. Right about like... Come on, let me do it. Right there. So another agro farm will go here. And then what we're going to do is set up probably 2 more grain silos on this side. And we'll go about, let's say, I don't know, here and here with it. I kind of want a connector in the middle, though. Yeah, I kind of do. And now that I think about it, for road connections on these, I think it might actually be better to make them go this direction. So we'll have it be right up behind the farm. About, like, say here. Maybe just beside the farm is fine too. It's a little tight on the road, but I think it'll work. You can go like this, and then I think these can be directly connected. That seems okay with me. Okay to me. And then for this other connection, though, we're gonna want... I was tempted to just have this whole area be forklifts all the time, but I think there's going to be some necessity for trucks. Distribution network is going to take care of most of this anyway, so we'll take and go with the factory connection on this side, close as we can. Carry it over to here for now, and probably put forklifts actually over here. So why don't we plan on forklifts being right here? Ooh, nope. Need them over on this side for the road. I don't want it to be too close to this rail, but honestly, I don't think we're doing any more rails here because the rail yard's going to kind of combine here and we'll have a bunch of rails here, but there's no reason for this many rails to exist here for this. I do want to eventually ship food. So that's the reason why 2 rails exist. The third one is because now we can take it from this side and come over here and get fuel. So that's what this third rail exists for. So one rail is for the oil network, the other is for the food network. Yeah, and then the rail from there. That's the reason for 3 rails. So for the forklifts, I think I can probably get away with this. And that way we can do a factory connection like so and just hook this up for now. All of that can be built with resources, and we'll have an asphalt road from this side merging into that, and then you guys can connect there. That seems fair. So we'll build that with resources as well. All right. So most likely we're going to have some crops wasted. Hang on, 4 meters per second. Let me test this. We're most likely going to have some crops wasted here this year, but as I get that extra agri-farm and extra equipment, now we can bring in, I think, twice as many crops. We had, last time I updated you, I think, we had these 4 medium fields and this 5th one here, and then we had 4 large fields here. I've expanded this to include 1, 2, 3 additional large fields and 2 additional medium fields. We'll hook this up to where the agri-farms are doing the medium fields first, then the big fields, so that they can complete this and at least queue the task to do this, so that if they're late in the winter, like they're queued up to do a field. How this works, if you're playing the game yourself, the jobs for these farmers, they're going to go into the field, they're going to finish it, they're going to refuel, then they're going to move on to the next task. They're going to refuel, they're going to go on to the next task. If they complete a task, refuel, and one task gets queued before the winter begins and it's too late to harvest, they will continue to harvest it anyway until they're completed, and then they will go refuel, and then they will not start another task. So the idea by having the medium fields done first is that they can complete the task first and then potentially queue up the large field harvest before the end of the year. If you do the big fields first, yeah, you're going to get the big fields, but it's going to take them longer to complete it. And so the winter happens, and they may never get to the medium fields. So keep that in mind. I'm also going to place a fuel station in the middle here, like I just did. And this is for all the farming equipment, so they don't have to come all the way back over here. Once they finish a field, they can just go right here, refuel, and again, get prompted. So I can have additional big field here, most likely. And actually, once this all gets set up, I probably will. But for now, I think this is at the very most, like there's no way we can handle any more than this on one agri-farm right now. Okay, 4 meters per second. Show me the green, please. Yes. What? 0? Oh, shit. Look. Oh, it stayed green. We did it. It stayed green. I don't know how it was 0 meters per second, but it's starting to get a little flashy there. It's really low. It's so low. I think for the most part, it's stable. If we have to have a little bit of flicker every now and then, it's a pretty low population. It'll be okay. There's no critical infrastructure being affected by that. That's what over here is for, yeah? Okay, I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Hey, just real quick, interjecting here before we end the video. So I just wanted to fill you in. This does not work. It appears to me like this facility, this unloading thing, unlike this facility, which is a fundamentally kind of the same thing. It's pumping fuel into the train, but in order to load it into the big tankers for shipment, apparently it needs to be directly connected to storage. It's the only explanation I have. If I take a look at this, it says it has access to 3.1 tons of fuel. We clearly have more than that. And as I look at this, this says it has access to this much bitumen and this much oil. So basically what I'm seeing here is I need a storage tank I need another storage tank to haul fuel. Since I cannot have a line running directly from here to here, it's too big of a distance. So we're going to place a storage tank in here, unfortunately. It's going to take a little bit of resources to do, but how this will work basically, if I can figure out where the hell it is, here it is. I'm hoping I can fit this in here, and I'm really hoping I can fit this in here. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There it is, got it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the line here run into the storage tank, which this is an intake, and then this is an out right here. And we're just going to have this pump feed this tank, and then this tank will feed this. So it's kind of incorporating existing infrastructure. The only difference is I do need to build additional storage tank for this, because this will not load from this station if it doesn't have direct access to storage for it. So that's all that's happening. It's not really slowing down the trade route, so I'm going to leave this in the route as is. It just makes a quick stop here and then goes. It doesn't load anything up. So yeah, this is going to get built now, and I'll of course do this with my own resources here. Just going to use a quick dirt road. Doesn't need really anything fancy there. And hopefully everybody will just get on it, right? We're missing all the stuff, workers, construction stops, etc., etc. It's going to get assigned to the construction offices. So thanks for watching, everybody. I do appreciate you. We're going to get this hooked up, and then we're going to make some more money that way. Our exports are doing pretty good, and our power is really stable now. So I'm happy with it. The only time it's not stable is when the wind completely dies. I see this being full green at around 4 meters per second. When it gets to 3, I guess we're going to demonstrate it. When it gets to about 3 meters per second, we see this for a little while. It's good, and then it starts to maybe every once in a while. Some buildings will lose power at 2. Of course, if the wind completely dies, then obviously everything goes out. But that doesn't happen very fast or very often. And when it does happen, it's very intermittent. Like it doesn't hold that way. So I think this is acceptable for now. And as we expand more and more, we'll get additional substations with whole new wind grid, if you will. And then we'll be able to facilitate even additional resources, additional buildings and such, as we build out our campus town. We're gonna have other universities and stuff in here too, and all the students will kind of rush into here. So anyway, thanks guys, appreciate you. We'll see ya. Bye bye.